Hi, I'm Addie Kidd with Art Jewelry Magazine. This is our 3-part series on setting a stone in a bezel. I'm going to show you how to adjust your bezel's height to match your stone. So you have a bezel and you need to get a stone into it. You've got it precisely fit and you've soldered it onto your back plate. I cut out an opening, just kind of a random shape. You don't have to do that if you don't want. If you're not going to cut a hole in the back, just in case before you start to fit your stone, you want to lay dental floss across, and you can either do 1 strand or 2 and then fit your stone in. And that way if it doesn't fit and you need to get it back out, you can pull on the dental floss to get it out. With mine I can just push on the back plate. And if yours is smaller, you can use something small to poke through a hole. I just like using a design to show off as much of the stone as you can. So you check the size, which for this looks pretty good. And now you're going to adjust the height of your bezel. We're going to measure the height of this stone here. All right, we got about a 6mm stone here. And the bezel, I'm going to lay this right on there, is just below that. A good bezel is approximately 2/3 of the height of the cabochon. Once you fit it in, because you don't want it to hide too much of the stone by the time you wrap it around over top of it. And you also want just enough that it will grip it. So about 2/3 of the height, give or take, depending on your stone. If it's got a really shallow dome to it, you're going to want a little bit less. If it's got a really high dome, you could get away with a taller bezel. So this is about right. I actually need to take a little bit away from this. This is too tall. So I'm going to use, I have sandpaper here that I've taped to a block, and I put it bezel side down, and with light pressure, because this is really easily bent, I'm going to make a figure 8 against the block and rotate it occasionally to make sure the pressure is even. And that could take a while to take down your height there. So if that is taking too long, you can use a flat file. You can either hold the bezel in your hand and file against it, rotating it frequently to make sure you get all of it. Or you can tilt your file, you can put it against a bench pin or against anything and hold your bezel against it and draw it down along it, tilting it and rotating it as you go. Trying to make sure everything stays the same height. You don't want one edge of your bezel to be tall and the other one short. So once you've got, and remember with the file, the teeth are only cutting as you're pushing on it on the forward push. You don't need to go back and forth. You're not filing your nails. It's just the forward push that gets the metal and you lift it off. So I think that should be about right. Got enough of my cab sticking up over top that this will hold it nicely without overshadowing it. So that's a good height for what I want. And the shape around the edge, you're going to cut that away later after you've set it. So, or you could cut it away beforehand. You'd probably want to set actually as the final step in jewelry making, but for these purposes it's just an unfinished back plate.